About a year ago, I made a video where I told you guys not to buy these seat opening discs from Wear Parts. Wear Parts advertises that these are laser measured within a certain tolerance that is a lot tighter than the tolerance of other seat disc manufacturers. And when I got them last year and started installing them on the 24-row planter, I found that I was having a lot of tolerance issues installing them, and overall it just wasn't the advertised experience, and I told you guys to stay away from them. After the fact, Wear Parts reached out to me. I sent them a bunch of discs back, and they laser measured them, and they said that they had a person in their factory that was putting the defective discs in the wrong pallet, and therefore they got distributed out to customers. So over this past year, they sent me a letter saying that they would love a second chance, and being that I have a new planter, or new to me planter here behind me that needs some seat opening discs, I decided to give them a second chance. So I have half a planter's worth of Wear Parts seed discs and half a planter's worth of John Deere seed discs that I got from my local dealership. So I also got some other goodies I'm installing here in this video, but it's gonna be kind of interesting to see if Wear Parts gets their redemption or not. So also being installed on the planter tonight, Schaefer Manufacturing reached out to me and sent me some goodies too. So I'm going to be installing these chicken tracker wheels as well. I got some chute parts, mostly scrapers in there. Some other Schaefer Manufacturing stuff that I don't know if I'm going to install or not, but I'll definitely talk about. Got some new gauge wheel arms and some new seed tube guards in this box. Now back to the discs, the seat opening discs. I just want to be 100% clear with everybody on this. I bought these from a local John Deere dealership. They've been sitting outside in a box for a few weeks now. They were covered. They did have a roof covering them, but it was not a closed shed. There was no door in the shed, so some dust and leaves and whatever got on them. These came directly from Wear Parts. I did not pay for these. Just want to be clear about that. They did not come from a Wear Parts dealer. They came directly from Wear Parts. So, I mean, if you go watch my last video, and just overall, I think you guys know that I speak my mind, especially when it comes to different products. So, if they don't do good, I'm going to tell you. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the left 6 rows as Wear Parts, the right 6 as John Deere, and I forgot my whiteboard, so we're going to do it with chalk on the floor. So over here we got Wear Parts, and over here we have John Deere. Now for every row that I do, if on the first install I'm able to be within the tolerances that I like, I will leave a check mark behind the row. If I am doing a row and I can't get the discs to line up quite like I would like them to be, I'm going to put an X behind the row. And then at the end, we'll compare and we'll see how many rows from each brand I thought were, what's the best way to describe this? Had the best tolerances, fit the best. It's kind of hard to say. That being said, I'm going to put the chalk up here, and it is currently 7:30 at night on Friday. I was told that I need to get all my stuff out of the shop by Monday, and I have other stuff I need to do. So I'm planning on just working on this planter until it's done. So it might be daylight by the time I leave. But either way, I'm getting it done. So I got all the parts laid out. Each row has its parts out here. Shut this door. Now, the first step is to start tearing this thing apart. So all the gauge wheels are coming off. Now, I know a lot of these gauge wheels don't look the greatest. These are the old yellow ones, and dirt has wore a lot of the paint away. You know, like this one's really bad. I'm not planning on doing anything to those this year. They're just going to be ugly for a year because I'm planning on getting all new gauge wheels and gauge wheel arms next year. I'm kind of trying to split my maintenance over a couple of years because, well, frankly, I'm starting out here on my own and funds are a little bit tight. I know I said this in the last video that I made of this specific planter, but the beautiful thing about John Deere planters is once you've taken one apart, you might as well have taken all of them apart because they haven't changed much since 1970. So I got the gauge wheels taken off, I got the seed disc taken off, and now I'm at the point where I gotta take all the seed tubes out because I'm replacing all the seed tube guards. Some look pretty good, some do not look very good. And being that I'm replacing the discs, it's probably good that I just replace the seed tube guards anyways, even if they were pretty good. So I gotta take all these little roll rings, the roll pins out, punch them all out, put the new ones in, and then put new roll pins in. I've never actually done this before, so it shouldn't be too hard. I wish they would have just used little bolts instead, but oh well. So it's the next day. I know I said I was gonna get it all done last night, but I ran into a snag. My seed tube guards, which these are the new ones, the holes are, I think they're a 1/4 inch. Well, these are the holes on the old ones. They are much larger than the new ones. And the reason is that this design wasn't that great on these planters. And what happens is that these seed tube guards, after a while, they get kind of sloppy. And the fix was to drill out the 1/4 inch holes to either 5/16 or 3/8, I don't remember, and then put new pins in. And these are starting to get a little bit loose again, but you just want to make sure that they're not banging against the seed tube. And over here, I put a seed tube in on one that was fairly loose, and side to side, it hits it, which is normal, but back and forth, it's not really hitting it much yet. And the new kit that I got from John Deere here this morning, the roll pins aren't quite as wore out, so they'll be a little bit tighter. So yeah, I didn't want to go any further last night because I didn't have the right parts. So it's now Saturday, and I'm gonna get it done today, I promise. So luckily, with the right tools, this is an extremely easy job to do. Just pop these bad boys right out. Bam. Bam. Old seed tube guard out. Finally got that done. Putting them back in was way harder than taking them out, but they're all in. Some of them are pretty stiff. Some of them are a bit loose. Let me find one that's a bit loose. This one maybe? Yeah. Some of them are still a little bit loose, but they're not really hitting the seed too bad, so I guess I'm not too terribly worried about it. So next step, openers. So I got the first set on and torqued down. Got my little business cards. I'm looking for around 2 inches roughly of contact. I messed that up, my bad. Okay, put that one in there, that one in there. Right at 2 inches, turn them a bit. Right at 2 inches, turn a little bit more. A little bit over 2 inches. So that set is good. So wear parts, first set, it's good. Little. Okay, now for the Finger Smasher 3000s, AKA scrapers. Like that. There we go. Now I just need to put the gauge wheels back on. So as I've been working on this planter, every once in a while when I have issues, I'll post on Ag Talk or on the John Deere Planters page on Facebook and ask questions. And lots of times when people see an a Maximerge 2 planter like this one, you know, they'll comment things like, oh, those things weren't worth the metal they were printed on. And it's just like, really, guys? I mean, these planters were fantastic planters and still are fantastic planters. Is this stamped steel unit quite as good as a cast? No, it's not. But out of all these units, I only have one that has a crack in it, and I do plan on welding that here before I build or put that unit back together. And it's just, I mean, they were fantastic units. I think they still are. Are they a high-speed unit? No. But they get the job done, and they're cheap. So I've done 4 rows so far, and so far, the first 4 have passed my little business card test, and they've been great. However, I'm seeing one reoccurring problem with each row with these wear part discs, and I don't know, we'll have to get to the John Deere discs, see if they behave the same. But so these are really thick blades. They must be their like ultra heavy duty ones. If I can find a part number, I will put it on the screen here. Here's the part number, AA5386OBA. I think the problem is that everything's so thick that I'm at the very end of the stud on every single shank, every single disc. The entire nut doesn't get on the stud, and it actually leaves this gap right here in the dust cover. You can see a little gap around the edge. That should not be there, and every single one is like that. This one's like that. This one's like that. So it's gonna be kind of curious or kind of interesting to see if I get to the John Deere if they sit closer to the middle of the shank. Got 2 done so far for the John Deere, and so far they have both passed my test, my business card test. However, listen to this. Right here, I think it's hitting down here on my seed tube guard, but you can tell it's not perfectly straight because it's not scraping the entire time around, just every once in a while. So yeah, there is a difference between the wear parts and the John Deeres. It still passed my business card test. I'm going to leave them on there because I don't think it's going to make any really difference to the seed test, but just showing you that there is a little bit of a, tolerance difference between that and those so far, and I'm just too into the John Deere. So half the John Deere rows are done. I got 3 left. However, this is the one row unit that has a crack in it. I've inspected all of them lightly, I guess. I didn't go super in depth, but looked in the common places where these get cracks. And this one has one right here. I don't know how easy it is to see in camera, but I thought, you know what? I have the planter taken apart. Might as well hit this with a die grinder, shave it out a bit, fill it in with the welder, throw a little bit of green paint on it, and call it a day. Because cheap planter, not too afraid of welding it. And I texted my welding buddy and said, you know, how should I do it? He said, die grinder, take away a bunch of material, fill it in, and you should be fine. So we're gonna give it a shot. That way it just doesn't get any worse, and I should never have to worry about it ever again. That's it. Yes, I know I'm using a paper towel. It's okay. There's a little bit of lint on the very inside of my planter unit where no one can see it. It's okay. Now it's gonna run a little bit, but oh well. There we go, I have finished. Every row unit has seat openers and scrapers now, and everything passed in the first try. This last unit was a little bit iffy. That's why there's that little line behind the check mark, and there was that one I showed you earlier. But other than that, everything went on the first try, which I have never, ever had happen. Usually, I mean, the last time I was working with, well, the Exact-Emerge last year, we had a lot of issues. And before that, the last time I would have done this was 2 or 3 years ago with that 1790 planter that we used to have with XP units on it. And we probably returned a quarter of the discs back to John Deere and exchanged them for different ones because they weren't up to our specs. But this is the first time where they were all at the spec. Now, granted, I had a smaller sample size. I have a 12-row planter rather than a 24 and a 31 row, but still pretty impressive. And I think it's more impressive for the fact that I was 100% expecting at least one of these rows to be tweaked or bent in some way, shape, or form, where one disc would be bent a little bit. I was 100% expecting that, but I can't see anywhere that that would actually be the case. So that's pretty cool. At least I know my planter's straight. So conclusion, everything went on pretty good. The wear parts is definitely gonna last a lot longer. I know they do more conditioning to their metal and it's thicker, but they are a lot more expensive. So that's something for you guys to decide on your planter if it's worth, because I mean, you're gonna be replacing them a lot less often, but you're also paying for them. So little trade-off there. Up to you guys what you think. I personally really like them. I just hope in my planter here that I was able to get all the bolts tight enough that they don't come off. Still kind of worried about that. It's weird these dust covers don't go on all the way because that bolt sticks out. But now I gotta put the gauge wheels back on. I think I have 4 or 5 extra gauge wheel arms that I bought just in case. So if I can't get some to adjust right, I'll try replacing the arms. And after that, we got some other goodies from Schaeffert that are gonna be put on this planter. So we got all the gauge wheels put on. For the most part, they actually lined up pretty good. There's a couple of rows that are maybe tweaked just a little bit where the gauge wheel doesn't quite line up straight with the opening discs, but especially for the amount of acres I got, I don't think it's gonna be any big deal. It's not gonna cause any, I don't think it's gonna cause any differences in like planting the corn. It might wear out that gauge wheel a little bit faster, but 220 acres at the moment, not too worried about it. This planter will still probably last me quite a while. But now we got these Schaeffert manufacturing, these are called the Chicken Track Packer wheels. So for these Case IH style closing wheels, they all have a 6-inch rubber wheel. And this is a 4-inch steel wheel. Now the benefits of this, according to Schaeffert, obviously I have not tried it out yet, is the fact that it mulches and mellows the soil rather than this can kind of smear it. Also, there's really no reason to have a 6-inch wheel because your trench is, I don't know, maybe everything involved the trench is just a couple inches wide. So he got rid of the 6-inch wheel, went to a 4-inch, and it's just supposed to help eliminate a lot of air pockets and stuff. And I'm actually kind of excited to try it. I think this looks like a good design, and it makes a lot of sense. Also, if you're in wet conditions, this will stick a lot less mud than this will. So he sent me 2 of them. So I'm gonna put one on row number 2 and one on row number 11. So one away from the edge on each side. That way there's a nice area where I can compare and contrast after I get done planting. And being on the end of the planter rather than the middle, there's gonna be nothing to do with wheel tracks. So I don't wanna put it next to a wheel track because that could affect its performance versus the rows next to it. So out here, no wheel tracks. My sprayer is gonna follow the same tracks as my tractor. So very, very nice comparison out here. Might be the easiest install I've done in a very long time. Looks pretty good. What do you think of this, Dad? Have you seen these yet?
I saw them laying around.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
So what do they say? All conditions or when it's wetter?
So all conditions, but it does help when it's wetter because those tend to build up with mud and push and kind of smear. These don't really build up with mud, but also it kind of makes sense that these help eliminate a lot more air pockets because it's putting pressure down in different spots. And then also it's 4 inches wide rather than 6. Okay. So I don't know.
No,
I'll give it a shot.
I'm excited to see you be a
guinea pig for
guinea pig. That's the word I was looking for.
For all this stuff.
The nice thing is you can change them really easily. So
yeah, no, that literally just
powder dry. 20 minutes you could be switched over, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean that literally took me. That was a minute install.
Definitely looks like if they're a little bit wet, they would be the way to go. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing they don't really build up. Yeah, I'm excited to see how the whole thing works. And hope it doesn't, because I don't want to spend tens of thousands on the other planter.
I hope it does. I don't want to have to spend money on my planter either.
But
yeah, okay.
I'm kind of excited to see the whole. So are they use these on Case IHs a lot, or? Yeah,
Case IHs and drills too that have this style of wheel. Yeah. And Shoot must have just absolutely copied the John Deere or the Case IH because it fits perfectly. Okay. I mean, it's the same wheel that you get in a Case IH. So.
So are we going to have to adjust some closing this much, or you just kind of?
I'm going to. So previous owner said that lots of times it did such a good job he would remove one entirely. Okay. But I can move them up one if I need to, but I'm also going to stagger them. Because if you go look at any Case IH planter, they're staggered.
Can you move this one back there?
Yep. I'll move one back. Now, one thing I don't understand is the Case IH planters, all that are at the dealership here in town, on the right-hand side, I think the right one was on the back, and then you got to the left-hand side, and they switched the way it was staggered. I don't think it'd make any difference.
It won't make any difference how it would pull. It's not like it's going to pull different one way or the other.
No. I mean, I'm going to do it just because I'll...
Why do they want them staggered? I suppose rip butts get caught in there?
I have no idea.
To me, it looks like they rip nice the way they are. But
yeah, there's 4 adjustments. I'm currently at the second highest. I can go one higher if I need to.
You can also adjust the tilt.
Yep.
Too many adjustments.
I feel like it's one of those things where once you get it, it'd be perfect. It'd be really nice. But yeah, to go and adjust every one is going to be a pain.
Well, it's not.
Well, if you had 24 of them, it would take
Get a little
a half hour.
The Welding pack ratchet.
Yeah.
No, because I know the Case IH, their corn comes up 2 days earlier than ours does.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that style system, so.
Yep.
I'm, excited to see what happens.
Me too. So I got these installed. This one is not very straight. You can really see it wobble, but I don't think it's gonna make that big of a difference. The other one is pretty straight, so still pretty excited for these. Now I have already started on the first row here, but I'm gonna stagger these closing discs just like this. I don't know if it's gonna make that big difference or not, but here's where I wanna start. And if I need to make further adjustments once I'm in the field, I can do so. Finally got it done. Got it folded up, got the boxes put back on. And like I said earlier in the video, we are still working on the electric drive kit. It's gonna be tight to get it done before spring, but we are working on it. I've been talking to my engineering buddy every once in a while. He's making really good progress. He said he thinks by the end of March we can get it put on, which would probably mean that the video would come out early to mid-April, but it might get pushed back a little bit. We'll see. And also, before I close the video, I want to just give a big shout out to Schaefer for sending me these chicken tracker wheels and also their 4LC closing system. So that's what's in this box. I did not put it on my planter because for our heavy tilled ground, this is just too aggressive. I can just tell by looking at it. One year we tried cast iron spoked closing wheels on the Exact Emerge, and those were too aggressive. However, these are a super cool product. I'm gonna leave links down in the description to this. This is a 4-link closing system, and it has tons of movement. So if you're in uneven ground or you have terraces or hills or bumps or ditches, this actually looks incredible. If I wasn't where I am, I'd probably put it on. I'd probably have my whole planter set up with these. But if I ever do no-till in the future, this is what I want right here. So I'll leave a link to this down in the description. I'll probably end up sending this kit back to them, but definitely, like I said, if I do no-till in the future, I definitely want to try these things out. Also, a big shout out once again to Wear Parts for sending me out all these opening discs. I had a much better experience with them this year than I did last year. I can actually say that I would recommend for someone who wants a high wear, good disc, that Wear Parts does make good stuff. Last year I did not say that, but my experience is a lot better this year, and they claim to have fixed all the issues that I had. So I will also leave a link to them down in the description. I do know that I am missing a parallel arm bolt right there. I have a new one on the way. Basically, now I just need to test out my vacuums and my air compressor and get the electric drive put on and head to the field. So thank you guys for watching. I cannot wait for planting season to come around. I'm super excited to get this thing out in the field and start growing some corn and soybeans. So, see you in the next one.